What's up, and welcome back to Cleats to Whistle Podcast. I'm Brad Valdez.
I'm Brandon Meredith.
And I'm Dakota Waldridge.
Let's go. We are here, man. Hey, we're going to knock this call to action out. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are growing. Road to 1,500 subscribers, boys. Hey, we're growing slowly but surely, man. But yeah, make sure you comment and share this episode out, man. We want to spotlight these guys, and we want to get their story out, man, and really promote the program that these guys are running. Coach Wash is here. It's good. Hey, this is good stuff, man. Listen. Listen, I'm going to do the housekeeping real quick just so we can knock all this stuff out real quick. I just want to get it out of the way. Okay, if you guys don't know, we did mess up the call or the text line last week.
We didn't mess it up.
Yeah.
We did not.
Yeah. But what we did was we X-nayed on that, and we're actually going to the WhatsApp. All right, we started a group there, and it's called The Pack. You just got to find that and add yourself to that, and then we're all going to be admins on there, so we're going to be able to control it a little bit.
Surprisingly enough, for being in my 30s, never used it, so we're going to have a crash course after we wrap up here.
Yeah, because I was texting the boys, man. I was like, we got to figure this out, man.
I'm sitting there like a dinosaur, like, what the hell is a WhatsApp? Like, what are we doing?
What about you? You knew what it was?
I mean, I'm 25. I know everything, don't I? Or that's what they always say. The young guys know.
But yes, hey, but now, hey, that's it. So make sure you go follow us on WhatsApp. I don't know how we do it, but we're going to start sharing a link out so you can be part of the pack, man. And if you got any questions, like this would be a phenomenal episode for you guys to have questions for these guys from across the bridge, man. We got the guys, and this is head coach Joe Washington, and we got an assistant coach, Kasaun. Hey, friends of the podcast, yes, man. Sir. Welcome.
Thank you all for having us.
Yeah. So hey, it was kind of a hectic ride here, right?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't know what was going on. It was traffic either way you went. It's like I was going to be late regardless. So.
Yeah, it was. I'm getting spoiled because I live probably all in a 2-3 mile radius, and so now having to come over the bridge and everything. Oh, I hate it.
Wow, yeah, you are spoiled, huh?
Yeah, very spoiled.
Well, hey, thanks for making the trip for us today, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll always be here for y'all guys.
Yeah, man, so hashtag what's in the cup. Hey, the cups are flowing already and everything else. So
Needed it today after that traffic.
H2O for the athletes. Remember that? Yes, sir.
Stay hydrated.
Don't drink it until you're retired. That's all right.
There you go. But yeah, this is basically an open floor for you guys, man, to promote your program and promote yourselves, man, and get your community and our community get to know who you guys are. These are phenomenal dudes. If you haven't seen their first episodes, Kasaun's been on here. Well, just your third time.
3 times.
Oh, yeah. Man, that's
Vet status, huh?
That's primo status, man. Because I'm a family guy. I'm a Mexican guy. So primo. Hey, you're a primo status. Hey, put that in. There you go. Put that in your Twitter header right there.
Primo status. I got you.
Primo status. Let's go. Hey, Coach, you got one more.
I'll definitely come back.
Let's go. But yeah, man, this is, like I said, we're just gonna have a good time, and you guys, our community get to know these guys and get out there and support them on a Friday night, man. We love high school ball. This guy over here, the Chopper's back this week.
Yeah, I'm back this week. So last week was a little bit hectic for me, but we got it all figured out. And honestly, I'm happy to be here with you guys because my knowledge of Indiana football is not very good, so I'm hoping to get a little bit of an education over here. I know I said, I know everything technology-wise, but I still got a lot of learning to do, and this is going to be an interesting episode, that's for sure.
He hardly gets out of the county, let alone the state. So
that is very true. Spencer County, them lines, you get kind of stuck in them sometimes.
Yeah, so, man, hey, let's get into this. You guys got any opening questions, man, for these guys? Listen, this guy's over here. He sent us a text in the group chat, and he was kind of, salty this morning, man.
Buddy. So we played at Fern Creek. We played Jeff last year. What was it, week 3, something like that? Pretty early in the season.
Yeah, pretty early in the week 3, 4.
And it didn't fall our way. These guys had a heck of a fourth quarter drive, 3rd and 10 from the opposite 33. Had 2 guys with hands on the quarterback, and somehow he stepped up in the pocket, drug a guy, and completed it to the sticks. And it was a heck of a game. I was very impressed with your all's atmosphere. Your all's daggone touchdown cannon is the loudest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But, I mean, it was a heck of a battle. I really enjoyed it. I wish Fern Creek and Jeff were still playing.
There you go. And I'll actually put that clip in that you sent me. I'll put it in there. That's the 3rd and 10 play.
Yeah, I mean, it was a heck of a play. He stepped up, did exactly what you want him to do. Stepped up and gave his guy a shot. So, but when you're on the other side of it, I'm just, gosh dang it, how do you all let him do it?
I mean, when he's 6'5", 230, I mean, it's gonna take a load to bring him down. So.
If our 6'5" guy might have got his hands on him, we might have had a shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There you go, man. So, hey, give us a life update on you, Coach. You know what I mean? Hey, this guy, jiu-jitsu guy. You know what I mean? You've been grinding on that, or you've been slacking, Coach?
I've slowed down a little bit. I've been trying to do more endeavors back in life. Getting back in school. Shout out to Coach Joe. He's helped me get a job that's well, not really. I won't say a job anymore. Like he told me, it's a career now. You know, working at Jeff in our special education department. So things like that. So I had to put jiu-jitsu on a hold, but it'll always be there. But I'll definitely make my way back with what I'm doing now.
There you go. I was going to ask you, could you take out Mark Zuckerberg? You know how he doing that?
Mark can get it. I still got dog in me. Now.
Yeah, let's go.
Dog gonna go nowhere.
Hey, Zuckerberg, he would have took you out.
Come on, Mark. $100,000 challenge. Let me know.
So what's going on with you, man? There's some situations you got into, right?
I don't know what situation you're talking about.
You're gonna get married.
Oh, that's yeah.
That's the biggest situation.
I was going to say the ultimate one.
The ultimate one. Yeah. After the Silver Creek game, I had this big ordeal, you know, planned to propose to my girlfriend. You know, faked a heart attack, laying on the middle of the 50-yard line. Probably should have included a lot more admin and coaches. I told my coaches, but I should have told some other people so they didn't have to call the ambulance back to the stadium. But it turned out to be a super duper cool proposal because her back was turned to the players while she was looking down, asking me, and I stood up, asked her, showed her the ring. Once she put it on and said yes, all the players bum rushed her, and she's like the team mom. So
whoa! We need to get a little backstory. What you faked a heart attack to propose? Oh my! What was in your?
Look, Brad. So
okay.
Coach
Yeah. Okay, come on.
Look at him. This is a man. He gonna kind of do what he want to do when he want to do. So he told us, but it's more like, hey, I got this idea. It's nothing set. You know what I'm saying? We're like, sounds good, Coach. You know. And he goes down, and I'm looking. I just slowly slide my phone out because I'm like, he's going for it. But it was a very special moment for them, and I'm glad that Ms. Misha and Coach Joe, they treated me like family ever since I met them, and especially since he brought me over with. But I was a very special moment for them, and I'm glad I was able to be a part and share it with them.
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and then I got like 3 classes left in my PhD.
The PhD is almost done.
PhD, so I just try to show the young men how important education is. Show the men how important it is to treat and love a woman the correct way. So that's my mission. Just showing them guys what it is to be a man.
Put it. There you go.
We'll edit.
Yeah, what it is to be a man. And do things the right way. So I'm real big on things like that.
There you go. I love it, man. I love it. Dakota, you don't know Indiana ball. We don't know Indiana ball. We just went over there on a whim last year to get these guys the interview. But you got any questions, man?
Man, there's a few I could ask off the rip. One is, what is with the playoff schedule? That was something that I was like, how do y'all's playoffs actually work? Because y'all have 6 classes like the state of Kentucky, correct?
Yeah, we have 6 classes. So when I first got the job, I got a text message from Floyd Central's coach, and they were doing a survey trying to get a lot of coaches to buy into it about breaking it down 1 through 16 in the North, 1 through 16 in the South. Try to make it a true tournament bracket. But from whatever they've been doing for years. It's called a blind draw, and there's 4 teams. You're grouped up with 4 teams, and they just choose. Like, they'll do a big production. I mean, it's a nice production how they do it. But it's like you get these 4 teams every year. So, luck of the draw, we get Center Grove 3 out of 4 years. So.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I was just say, lucky you. You get Center Grove, who competes year in and year out. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but a lot of things don't make sense to me. So we go from there.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, these guys we're glancing over here because we got the Fern Creek game on that they had played last year. So if you see them gazing over there, they're like scratching. They're like, oh my god.
You can never take the coach out of them. They're going to see. They've probably watched this film like 5 times already, and they're still like, why did he make that mistake?
I
Why?
watched it twice today at work.
Yeah,
By
exactly.
myself.
Hey, yeah, it was funny, dude, because I was watching their episodes, and then you text me and say, hey, I was watching the game from last year. I was like, look at us. We're all trying to do our little edits real quick, man, get our notes.
And like I got introduced to these guys last year through the very first podcast you did with them, and I even told Coach after the game, in the handshake line, and of course everybody's all
That's the play.
mad and upset, and daggone it, we were on the right side of the 50 again and didn't pull it out. But I pulled him aside and was like, man, I saw you on Cleats to Whistle, man. Keep doing your thing. I really appreciate what you're doing. And hey, 3 more classes. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
PhDs. What does that mean? The doctor?
Yeah, doctor of counseling. So I'll finish with a counseling education supervision, PhD, looking into being a professor, college professor. So that's one of the goals, and then moving into the admin side of the school.
Let's go.
Dr. Washington, everybody.
You can be a football player and still read books. It is possible.
Yeah.
All I hear is money. That's all the money's going up.
He hears and he sees green.
That's all it is.
Absolutely,
man.
You could be an athlete and be smart as well. Like it's a pride thing that
Yeah.
say you're an athlete. But that's my former life. Like now I'm moving into something else, and education is really big.
Yeah, and in the episode, I'm going to go back to last year when you were on. You talked about talking about really supporting people that are getting away from the game, and their mental health and how to Did you had a journey when you hung up your cleats, man? What was that like?
Oh man, that was
because you seemed like you struggled a little bit.
Oh man, I struggled terribly, man. It was it came to a point, and that's what my dissertation is going to be out. It's called What's Next. I can remember sitting in my green Tahoe in a park where I used to play youth football at, and then where it all started, and I was just like, what's next? All I know is football. Like, I mean, I did enough in school to graduate college, but I was there to really mainly play football. And the skills that I had, lifting and, I didn't know how to put it towards real life. And I was just stuck for a while and, in a rut, bouncing through little meaningless jobs. And it took some words from, my parents and my uncle that sort of helped me turn it around, and then went from there. So
there you go. And when you hung up your cleats, man. You're a young cat, dude.
Oh, they up. They up.
They up.
They're up.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So having a guy like this, around and you can pick his brain, like, what's next, you already shouted him out, he's helping you for your career.
Sure.
How did you feel when you just said, you know what, I'm done playing ball?
Kind of along that same line of like, what's next? Went through a battle with depression for a little bit because my whole life was play football, go to college. And then when that goal was completed, it's like, okay, now what's next? And it got through a little battle with, I used to say, there's nothing else football can offer me. And I had to change my mindset and be like, let me do what somebody did for me, somebody else. And that's when I became more along the lines of from a student athlete to a teacher coach. Same thing. Just an upgraded version of it.
Love it, man. Those are great answers, man.
I love it.
Yeah, it just fires me up because you have a vision of what you had a vision and now you're actually just doing it.
yeah.
That's all it is.
And that's crazy because you don't see like me when I got out of coaching, I was like, what do I do now? And that's how the podcast was like. I still want to be in the game,
Right.
but how can I do that and really like affect somebody some way? And then that's the reason why I started the podcast right there. is the only reason.
Sure. Like I could just remember like one thing, with a lot of athletes and you're going through that depression, like, Wall said, those stages, we look at, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and those things are heavily with athletes. So, one of the things I did was, I'm a big believer. I don't hide my belief in God and things of that nature. Jesus is the center of my life. I ask, like, Lord, just take my life, do what you want me to do to praise you in your name. So everything I do, I glorify Him, and this is the job as a head coach is just something that I use to glorify what He's given me and help others along the way.
There you go. And you see that, a lot now. You know what I mean? People aren't afraid to speak up, about their faith and everything like that. You're a young cat. I'm going to go back to that. You know what I mean? Is that kind of rubbing off on you?
Definitely. This year, I reworked myself back into my faith. The church that we used to eat at on Thursdays, I would talk with the pastor a little bit. I used to say, hey, can you give me 10, 15 minutes? And it ended up turning 45 minutes to an hour. And that just reworking my faith back in God and realizing that, hey, you're still gonna go through the tough time, but it's gonna be a little bit easier. Well, a whole lot easier, but it's gonna be easier for you in taking the right steps that you need to make.
Yeah, there you go. I love it, man. You got any questions, man? Jump in.
So, you all didn't see this, but when we were leaving last year, me driving the trailer got lost, had to move cones. This is just trying to get off their campus. Man, like what all has gone on since last football season, renovation-wise, because it was just construction everywhere, going crazy.
Hey, it still is.
Tennis courts, I mean, phenomenal, like world-class tennis court facility, but we were lost, and I was just like, it's got to be a good problem to have all this land.
So we're trying to keep up with Indianapolis. Like, if you ever go to Indianapolis, there's like many colleges. So we're building a state-of-the-art auditorium. Auditorium is going to be an Olympic-sized pool, have training pools within it. We're going to get a new football locker room. It'll have an up-to-date, training facility. We're getting a new state-of-the-art weight room, concession stands. So it's going to look nice. Like what they're doing and what they're putting into that school to make it up-to-date and compete with all the other schools is going to be phenomenal.
It's something that gives like Indiana credit for, man. You go to any basketball gym, it's just the communities invest. Whereas you come over here and it's very clear who invests and who doesn't. And just one thing, can we get some signs like exits this way, not that way?
I got you. I'll mention that to the AD. If I got to go out there and draw myself, I'll get you.
Yeah, just give me a little sign. You can draw on whatever you got to do.
Yeah, no, it's the community is really pouring into that school. They're doing a phenomenal job. The mayor is doing a phenomenal job. The administration is doing a phenomenal job, and it's going to be something nice. Like they're going to have upstairs meeting rooms for football and things of that nature. And I'm excited. It won't be done until next year, but I'm excited.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well,
there we go.
I was going to say, so what's it feel like, especially for you all? I mean, the year prior, 0-10's what, the Red Devils went. Y'all went 6-4 this year. How does it feel to be at the forefront of the change, basically? Like, I'm not going to say there's a line in the sand, but, you all are the ones that are there making this change happen. The program's growing and everything. The facilities are growing. What does it feel like for you all to be kind of the guys, for the football team at least, spearheading this change and kind of setting the new foundation for what it means to be Jeffersonville Red Devil?
I would kind of say, just going off of what Coach Wash was saying when we first got the job, was saying 0-10, like, we know what you're walking into. It's going to be a dumpster fire. But his biggest thing was bringing the love back into the game for the kids. At the end of the day, high school ball, if you're blessed and lucky enough to go to college, wonderful for you. But at the end of the day, this is their D1. You're going to get number one. You're going to get the Speed Flex helmet. So Coach Joe, his big thing was putting the love back into the game and then establishing that culture for them and letting them know not only as coaches you have mentors, friends, and you'll see the smiles that when you walk in the hall, they'll be like, "What up, Coach?" You know what I'm saying? Nah, get out my face, go to class. But it's just bringing that love back into the game.
Yeah, I think it's coaching in Louisville is different. These guys, they grow up in Jeffersonville. They're from Jeffersonville. 20 years from now, the buddies and all the families are going to be in Jeffersonville, and that's their pride. The pride of the Jeff Red Devils, runs deep. I'm invested in the community now. I have kids that are growing up through the community. So just making it better for my kids when they come through, and the tradition and things of that nature, that they'll have pride. Like now, my sons, both of them, the 10-year-olds, like, hey, we want to be Jeff Devil. At first, their older brother was at St. X, so they wanted to be Tigers. So establishing that that passion for the school is what I really want to see happen.
I like that a lot because I kind of get that from like the county schools. When you only got one school in the county, everybody's going to be a Bear, a Rocket, or whatever. So it's nice to hear that a school, especially in Indiana, it's like, oh no, we want to be a Red Devil. We want to be a Jeff student when we grow up. Like, I love hearing that. That's great to hear.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you got you had your 4 captains. They were phenomenal. But you had a younger guy, you know what I mean? Trey, he's going to be a senior this year, right? What was what did he bring to this team? Being a young guy, and you guys named him a captain.
Trey, and I said it before, he's got that dog in him, and a little bit of it's in my coaching philosophy a little bit when it comes to playing football. Sometimes you got to be a little bit of a villain with it. Sometimes you got to make somebody not happy. And Trey's one of those guys that he's gonna go out there and make you feel that he's on the field. Pause. But he's gonna make you understand this is my team. This is my game. I'm gonna take over when I want to take over. And he showed plenty of time. That's why he got named the captain through preseason workouts and all of that. So it was easy to get.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't look. What number did he wear?
8.
He hurt his shoulder.
It happened in this play.
Matter of fact, yeah.
I was just curious because I'm sitting over here looking, score 17-0 you guys, and I'm just sitting here just like, gosh dang, I remember this like it was yesterday.
He was actually, so how we do it, like I sent out a Google spreadsheet, and the players voted for 3. Like their teammates voted for 3. And the coaches voted for 1. And, Trey was the coach's pick. He still had a high number from his teammates, but he was the coach's pick just because of the intangibles that he brings to the team, the leadership. We had a scrimmage up at Madison, and I was out there, and I got on the defense, said some choice words. And he looked at me and was like, he just had this look. He was like, Coach, you want me to turn it on? I said, please turn it on. And then next play, he just comes out and makes a big tackle, like a huge hit. And he was like, is that what you want? Is that what you want? I was like, oh, yeah, he's the guy.
Hey, that's the guy. You know what I mean? Because we had all 4 of them on the podcast, man. And you know what I mean? Luke, phenomenal young man.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Talk about that, man. Talk about the other 3. Cam, pretty well. But Chance and you want to hit it
For Cam, yes.
What is it? Dog. Hit the dog button for Cam. Hey. But talk about them other 3, man. Just because they were phenomenal, and I will tag all the player profiles, man, so you can go back and watch them. And man, just talk about those 3.
Just to give Luke his shout out. Playing for Coach Wall is not easy. It's a standard that we're gonna keep. And me coming in and everything they had on the defensive side, me standing this out the door, bringing in a whole new defense, a whole new chemistry with it, whole new attitude that we have to play defense. For that kid to mold himself into that, become a leader, learn the defense, and be able to teach other guys, and always go. That was his thing, always go. Mr. Make the tackle, he's going to be in there. Lay some big hits, and just a guy like that, you want to have a guy like that on your team, no matter what.
It sort of falls back to what we were talking about, the community guys. So we give an award at the end of the year for we call it Mr. Red Devil, somebody that's going to be Jeff through and through. When they get 90 years old, they're going to be coming to the games, however they may. And he's that guy. So, Luke played a big part in the change of the culture. He's one of the kids that when we first got the job, he was like, "Yo, I want to win, whatever it takes. I want to win." So, kudos to Luke. You don't have another beat your chest guy. We'll have to see who the next beat your chest guy, rah rah yell scream guy is. But Luke did an awesome, phenomenal job. Chance is another community homegrown guy, and really he did a phenomenal job for us. But the best of him is yet to come. He's at IU right now, and the best, he's gonna develop into a phenomenal football player.
Yeah, he fired me up, man, because we talked off camera, and I was just like, because he was kind of down on himself, because of the injury and everything else. But he was like, dude, I love this game. And that's why I was like, man, spotlight those guys a little bit. Yeah. And then move on to Cam. We can't.
But I'll say about Cam first. For everybody and every team that we played, y'all only dealt with him on Friday. I dealt with him every day of the week. Torture my defense, then getting him ahead, and think about Cam, he's gonna let you hear it. Coach Wild, I got you, boy, I got you. He's gonna let you hear it, but that attitude and that enthusiasm is infectious, and you can see when he makes a big play. Not only are the stands going crazy, everybody on the sidelines crazy. You got admin standing up and stuff just because the atmosphere and how he makes the play. And then you look back at the film, you just like, how did you make that play? So one more dog button for me. Let me get a call. One more dog button.
Hey, let me turn it up.
Dog.
I mean, you could just hit that button for 7 minutes straight. Like,
yeah. And you have a special relationship with him. You know what I mean? And you don't want to brag on him. You don't want to give him that big head, man. But the kid is a phenomenal young man. Hey, he was awesome on the podcast too as well, man.
Oh yeah, man. He's a special young man. For those that don't know, that's my son. That's my stepson. And, there was no recruiting. When he cash at me request, I'm the one that's paying it, So he's my son. So, phenomenal guy, man. I mean, he's had greatness written all over him since I've known him since the 8th grade. But he's always in that mode of having to prove himself. And even when he's going to, the next level of college, he has to prove himself. People said he was too small to play at the next level, so he's, in that mode of always proving himself and keeping that edge to him. I tell them all the time, I said, don't lose that edge. When you lose that edge and you become complacent, that's when you lose who you are.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, it fires me up, man, because, I really, this is our first taste of being in Indiana as you guys. You know what I mean? And you guys went 6-4. You guys 4-2 in conference. You're really changing the environment, the culture. His guy, Coach Abel, is he's phenomenal with that, man. Having that culture stay up there for so long, you know what I mean? How is that going to be on you? Is that going to, put some are they putting pressure on you now? Like next year, hey, we want to see 7 wins. You know what I mean? Because that was your goal, is you wanted to see that 7. You came up one short.
We let a couple slide. We missed that mark, but the pressure is still. I think there's still a lot of naysayers. Oh, 1 year and done. They got lucky type stuff. So we're still in that prove it mindset, and doing what we do, and pushing the kids to see the result. But some people are satisfied with 6-4. But you can talk to the staff. We want better. We want the 9-0, 10-0. Having a chance at a state championship.
Yeah, and you coming over here, you've been with him for how long now?
3 years now.
3 years now. Having him there on your side, and you feeling more comfortable coaching with him. Just what's one thing that drives your nerves with him a little bit? What's one of his pet peeves that you got?
Honestly, and I'll tell everybody, and I'll tell them with him right here, Coach Joe. That therapist in him, this an old lineman, so old linemen get mean. Coach Joe, he he nice with the kids. You know what I'm saying? He show the kids love and stuff like that. But I always tell anybody, and I tell any coach, any player, when he starts to get little up, I'll take a couple steps this way. But other than that, there's nothing but good things to highlight. Positive guy, positive for the community, positive for his team. You see it in the hallways with the aura, what the kids say now, the aura, you see the aura when he's walking in the hallway of just how it's just a culture change, and it's infectious through the school, through the kids that don't play sports and other sports. It's a good thing to have Coach Joe on your team.
There you go. And I love talking about the good, bad, the ugly, right. Of last season. Spotlight, you've already done this. I mean, you got experience in it. You never really had to really experience being a head man. But, talk about your good, bad, and the ugly.
The ugly was that Center Grove game. That was the ugly one. During halftime, it was one of those things like, kids were down. And, I could have went in there, yelled, cussed, and did all, well, I don't do a lot of cussing, but cussing, I just went and looked at him. I was like, bro, like, all I want, going into the next season is to show people that we're still a team. We don't fall apart. Go back out here, let's have fun. Make the small stuff, enjoyable. And so that's what, it was a lopsided loss, needless to say. But the kids, they at the end of the game, it was they still was, proud of themselves. Like, it wasn't a defeated spirit. So that was one of the ugly moments. That, and then the bad was against Floyd. I got coached on that one. He hit us with 3 onside kicks. Shame on me for it's just one of those things. So that was bad. And then the good was actually, we had 8 kids signed to play at the next level, and that's what it's all about. Having those kids, giving those kids the opportunity. Like, we tell them, like, all the coaches that play college ball, we tell them the stories, but for them to be able to see and go through those stuff and, get to play college football, have fun in college, join fraternities, like, stuff like that. Like, we tell them, they see. Like, they're gonna get the experience, so I can't knock that. So that's probably one of the best parts.
So basically, your first year is just you learned a lot about yourself.
Oh yeah, like, I learned a lot about myself. Like, I learned there's no friends in this game.
There is not.
And and social media is giving a lot of people a lot of courage to say a lot of things that they wouldn't say normally in your face. So just being stepping away from social media and blocking out the negative and using that to grow as a man, and stand firm on what I believe and stand firm on my decisions and stand firm behind the kids and, the team and the community. I learned a lot like that.
There you go.
Me and Guy came real close. We became best friends, helping me through some, stressful moments. Like, just always, my phone was always ringing. Like, I go from being a quiet person, like, I don't come out my house. Like, I stay in my house. Like, I don't do a lot. My phone doesn't ring, but being a head coach, like, my phone constantly rang. Like, it got to a point, like, the AD was calling like 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, bro, I ain't even said good morning to my girl. And he's calling, like, to tell me about, something that's gone on, or, something that, I didn't do right, or something like that nature. So just being, learning the process and, learning how to become a head coach and, see where my faults were, doing a lot of self-evaluation.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. You self-scout, self-evaluate, and everything else. What could you do better? Being one of his assistant coaches. What's one thing that you're going to work on this year?
Just making sure I implement the things that come from the top down. Making sure that I maintain his standard and do the things that I need to do as an assistant coach and as his defensive coordinator to make sure not only on the field are we doing what we're supposed to do, off the field and in the building as well. Coach Joe's, he knows my aspirations one day to be a head coach, so he's put me in those steps. So I know next year, like, to be better is to, hey, coach, what can I take off of your plate? And what can I gain experiences on? Which he does a great job of being like, Wall, like he'd say his phone always answers. He's like, Wall, you're going to have to answer your phone. He's like, you don't answer your phone enough to be a head coach, man. If people call you, I'm calling you, you don't answer your phone. So I'm like, now my phone it ain't on do not disturb as much. The volume still may be down, but I'll answer eventually.
Your job as an assistant, keep stuff off of his plate.
Keep stuff off of his plate.
That's all it is.
I got to learn to delegate some, too. Like, you know.
Yeah, and it's that control thing. You know what I mean? 'Cause like I always say, you know, you get the wins, but you also get them losses too.
Yep.
So you know what I mean? It's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, Brandon, you know, you were an assistant this whole time. You know what I mean? Did you never had aspiration to be, you know, a head coach or anything?
Nope, because I do not like answering my phone. No, I just got lucky. Abel, really good guy, really good friend of mine, and I mean, it would be cool. I just don't have the time to dedicate to that. Like, I gave a lot of time, tried cutting grass, doing all the little stuff, but being a head coach, I think it takes a special person. And
You know, and this is just me and you talking right now. It's like, well, what would you tell a young assistant? You know, coming up in the game, you know, everybody wants to call plays. Everybody, you know what I mean. They want to be that next guy. You know, what's one piece of advice you'd give to it like a young coach?
show up often, show up as much as you can, soak in as much as you can for the first year, 2, 3, however many. Like, I would show up to meetings not knowing anything, bring my notebook. I'm just jotting down, listening to minds who have been doing it. So I think showing up, doing little stuff that you may not be comfortable with right away, but learning how to do those things.
Yeah, because then my next question is to you. It's like, you know what I mean? You taking pieces from, you know, Coach Washington. You're taking some from Nino. You're taking, you know what I mean? Is that a lot of pressure? Like you really soaking that stuff in as a younger coach, you know what I mean?
I'm a guy, I love to learn. And so that's just one tactic. I mean, one thing that's been with me my whole life. So I'm not afraid to have all that information and stuff dumped up on me because I'll just, in my brain, I'll compartmentalize it, put it where it needs to be, and apply it when the situation presents itself. Like Coach B, shout out Coach B. When I first came to him, we were at Atherton, I come to him with a whole bunch of stack of papers. Like, Coach B, look at these plays. Coach B's like, okay, first thing, we need to figure out how to make that look better. And second thing, great job telling me, can you coach the kids? Can you do it to the kids? But if I say anything about being an assistant coach is, I want to be the assistant coach that I believe, you know, reap what you sow, and if you sow good seeds, and if I sow good seeds of being an assistant coach, one day when it's my time to be a head coach, I will have good assistant coaches come to me and gravitate towards me because I've sowed those seeds.
And like, you get to be like, as an assistant, you get to be the good guy all the time.
I call plays.
He's got to have a whole bunch of like uncomfortable conversations. Like, you better get your stuff together, man. You're going to be off this team. Whereas you kind of get to be like, oh yeah, go talk to Coach Joe.
I mean, I call plays. I get to design the defense however I want it. I don't got to deal with parents or kids like that. So I'm living the dream. I might stay where I'm at.
But if you want to be a head coach, you better start answering
phone call.
Dakota,
uncomfortable text.
you got anything?
Well, no, I was going to say, so what is it exactly, especially for you being the head coach, trying to connect to these players on a personal level? Because, you know, we're talking about the psyche of them. Like, when I played football at K-State, I tore my knee and everything, and my football career was done. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for the fact that when the new coaching staff came in, they kept me on to be around football, I probably would have lost my God-given mind.
Right.
So for you and your assistants too, what do you try to do to get that connection with them? Because every kid's got a different story and background to, like, connect to them and be like, look, there's another thing outside of football, but here's how I'm going to help you with football right now.
Oh, I guess, you know, just, you know, and I'm blessed that, you know, I've had that training as a therapist to know how to get to talk to people and get to, you know, find out those questions. You know, if, you know, you see him one day, he's up here, next day he's down here. Hey, what's going on? You know, so it's something outside of football. So, you know, I've just been blessed with, you know, the training and the knowledge of being a therapist. But just building the relationship, you know, being able to be approached. Some kids just don't. They feel like, yes, you're a coach, but are you that coach that they can't talk to? We do a lot of wrestling with the kids. Like, we do a lot of, like, there's, like, we'll walk in and the kids will be waiting, like, what's up, coach? Come on, like, and they wrestle. So that's building that connection with them. At the same time, you know, they're able to take coaching. They see, okay, these coaches do care, and I think that's one of the messages that I when I interviewed everybody on the staff was like, hey, these kids got to know you care before they do anything. So if you're not willing to build a relationship with these kids, you can't be on the staff. Like, yes, you can be, you know, tough and in that nature, but for these kids and where they've been, you have to build that relationship and let them know, hey, okay, these guys care about us. They want what's best for us. So that's the mentality that we took with this group, and it's worked out. Like we have a great relationship with all the kids. I try to speak to every single kid that I see in the hallway. Outside of football, I know a lot of kids from the middle school when I was at middle school, but each football player, hey, how y'all doing today? I try to make that connection every day.
And it goes into the showing up part. Like, you can't just be a Friday coming and, expect to make a super big impact. Like, sure, you can be an extra set of eyes or, the get back guy or whatever, but like showing up every single day and kind of developing that rapport with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Phenomenal episode. We got, hey, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. We got just a few more questions, man. And right now, this is the open floor. If you got any fundraisers, you got anything coming up that our community needs to know, and then, when we post this, we're going to try to share it with your community too as well. So let them know, man, if you got anything coming up.
Oh man, the big thing was happening with I talked, Coach White is my buddy. He's sort of like a mentor as well. Learned a lot from him at Atherton. But the minority 7-on-7, we're bringing that to Jeff next year, so it's gonna be big for the community. So
wow,
15, 20 teams, teams coming in and competing on our field and seeing our facility and things of that nature. We get to showcase what Jeff's about. So that's huge for our community.
Let us know the day.
July 12th.
Let's go. We are there already, man. You already know it, man. Anything we can do to spotlight you guys. Like I always say, man, hey, our phone's here, man. We'll answer our phone. But yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, anything else, man? You got any other questions?
I got two.
Go ahead, man.
So we talked a little bit. You all were very senior heavy last year, and this is kind of more towards you. Because I noticed that defensive, your guys had a bit of nastiness to them in a good way. Like they were going to the echo of the whistle. Like one of your guys was, kind of jaw jacking on the sideline, but not in a hurtful, harmful way, not anything flag worthy. But what do you have coming back on that defensive side? And is your explain your philosophy a little bit?
Bringing back my guy Trey, we talked about earlier, bringing back a lot of guys as far as the linebacker, the back seven guys. Got a couple guys that got some experience last year. Up front, we're going to be bringing in not the group of starters that we had last year, but these guys got a lot of good playing time as far as from JV games and varsity games. So these guys will be ready for that upcoming season. And my coaching philosophy, like I said, it is about having fun, but that nastiness, that doggy, that you just have to have that to play defense. Coach Jackson, my high school coach, he said, if you play defense, you got to be a little crazy. And that's how, but the jaw jacking, stuff like that, I tell my guys, hey, we make sure you keep it respectful. We are talking about 16, 17-year-old kids, so you're going to get a couple B words, but at the same time, be able to compete, and at the same time, you have to take what you dish out. So if you make a play and a dude you talk to a dude, hey, if he scores on your head, be ready for it to come back. But number one thing is just have fun, and we gonna be ready to prepare this season and try to get a couple zeros on the board.
Your guys flew around, man. I was impressed.
That pursuit drill that they do, I told them at the beginning of the year, if I'm the toughest guy you've seen, it'd be a good season.
Hey, yeah, and you know what I mean. You guys coming, you having a relationship with Nino, you know what I mean, and you're bringing the minority 7-on-7 to Jeff. That's huge, man. That's awesome. But talk about that. You know what I mean. Being over there, really helping him build that little monster that he's got over there right now. Talk about your time at Atherton real quick.
Oh man. So I actually, how'd I get at Atherton? I was in a group meet with, it's called the ex-Butler Bears, because I was at Butler before that. And I had, Coach B had made a comment, and I guess I put the eye emojis on there. And the next thing he calls me, was like, hey, man, you trying to coach again? I said, man, yeah. And so then next thing, 5 minutes later, I get a phone call from Nino. And he was like, yo, you trying to coach? I said, yeah. He said, all right, dog, you the O-line coach. Come on, run game coordinator. So just learning from Nino, man. He's great with building rapport with the kids. Kids over there, they'll play through the wall for Nino. And then just, fundraising, seeing there's some days when, he's sitting in the office and he's just stressed out. Hey, bro, what's going on? Hey, man, this is going on, this is going on. So he was giving me that ugly side of head coaching that, he was introducing it to me, not even knowing that that was my next step in life.
Right.
But I was getting to see that ugly side and, dealing with the parents and, things of that nature. So I learned a lot from Nino. And he's been a help, along the way. I'll shoot him a text or I'll ask him a question. And, he's, first person to, text back and say, hey, I'll hit you back in 5 minutes. We'll talk and we'll see. He's been a real help for us.
Yeah, there you go. And the African American coaches sticking together, and the minority coaches and doing you're doing your things. How was that over there at Jeff? You know what I mean? You guys are minority heavy over there on your staff. You know what I mean? You guys got that brotherhood going. You know what I mean? And
I heard somebody in the community mentioned a parent was asking about the culture over at Jeff, and he was just like. Because the bomb was thinking about going to private school or coming to Jeff. And he told the parent, he was like, oh, yeah, it's a baby HBCU over there.
yeah, and talk about the stigma that you guys get. You know what I mean? And it's kind of, like, why? You know what I mean? They're just great men, trying to coach these young men up, man. And that's why I'm just giving you guys the floor, you know what I mean? Because I respect the hell out of you guys, man.
Man, it's an uphill battle, man. People just seeing what we're doing, looking past the obvious, and seeing, hey, okay, these guys actually care about these kids. We don't try to demean kids. We don't try to embarrass them. We try to uplift. But it is what it is.
you got to get in their ass a couple times every now and again.
Yeah,
but,
we do.
But you do it with love.
Yeah,
we do it with love. But just being a minority coach, and the expectation is always going to be there for to be great. So I have to work extra hard to make sure that I'm doing exactly what I need to do, and make sure that the kids reflect what the school stands for, what the administration wants and things of that nature. So I'm always preaching, hey, Jeff, big. The brand is bigger than you. You have to respect the brand. So
right.
You around here walking around the Jeff stuff, make sure you're respecting the brand.
There you go. And like the only reason why I asked that is like you don't see a lot of Latino coaches. You know what I mean, being head coaches. And that's my stigma that I get is like that. You don't know ball. Right. You know what I mean? It's right. Like, what are you talking about? I've been coaching this game for 25 years, man. You know what I mean? I get the. You play soccer. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was a punter though. I punted the shit out of the ball too. Right, but yeah, give your. You know what I mean?
I kind of say I just piggybacking off of what Coach Joe said. But how I address it a little bit is. I'm trying to make myself and put myself in a position where you have to tell me no. It's going to be the reason we know why you're telling me no. As far as my resume, I want to make sure like I have the experience playing ball at the next level. I want to make sure I get the experience as an assistant coach, being able one day be an assistant head coach and move that myself in those directions. So when it comes my time, you can't tell me no. Like, and once you put yourself in that position when they look at your stuff and everything's on the table and they have to tell you yes or no and everything checks off the boxes, they can't tell you no.
I love it, man.
And I think it's cool. Like, some kids respond better to people that look like them, right? Like
exactly.
And you being the guy that you are, getting ready to have your PhD, like that to me that just seems like a cool thing that a kid would look up to you. Right. As well as like, man, this is my coach. I'm like, he's a good dude.
I believe kids need to see a visual pathway of success. And no offense to any older coaches, but it's hard when your coach is 50-something, you're 17, and you're like, you don't know what my life is like. But you see me, and I'm 27. It's like, hey, I'm far from you, but I'm not that far. You can see, and maybe one day you can work where I'm at, the same way I see a path of success to where I want to work to where he's at. Once you get to my spot, now you just got to make your right choices, put your ducks in a row.
Hey, man, I'm almost 50 now.
hey,
I'm almost 50.
I almost got him right here.
I was like, I'm 43. I'm about to be 50, yo.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
But yeah, man, phenomenal episode. Dakota, you got any questions?
Okay, so I do have one because the basketball game is tonight between Jeff and New Albany, and I know how big that rivalry is.
Ooh.
What is it like for football, and what would you compare it in the state of Kentucky rivalry-wise?
Oh, man. Whew. It's almost up there with St. X and Trinity. The week of the New Albany game, like there was a guy at a gas station. I'm just pumping gas. He walks up. He was like, "Hey, you the football coach?" I said, "Yeah." Most of the time I say no because I try to fill out what people are trying, what angle they coming from. I'm like, nah, that ain't me. But I was like, yeah. He was like, hey, let's go this week. This is New Albany week. I said, yeah, I know. And he was like, I hate New Albany so much. If I'm on E, I will drive until I get to Jeffersonville city limits before I get gas. He said, I won't eat over there. I don't spend any money over there. I was like, yo, this is deep. This is deep. So, and one thing, I at first, the kids, they were, we moved it to a Saturday morning. I think it gave sort of that college football atmosphere to the game, which I liked. I mean, it's Friday night, nothing beats Friday night lights. But to have it on that Saturday morning, getting up, and they got it to experience, so we treated it like you would in college. Got up, got meals, was there early. It gave it that new feeling to it. So I don't know if they'll keep it on a Saturday morning, but it's a rivalry. I mean, they don't hide their hate for each other. Like if I go to New Albany, I don't wear Jeff stuff. If I go out to eat over there, I don't wear Jeff stuff. I don't want anybody spitting in my food. But no, it's a big rivalry. So I will put it up there, with the male manual, St. X, Trinity type rivalry over here in Kentucky.
There you go. Actually, we did pick that game too. Huh?
Yes, we did.
We did pick that game.
And it was a full sweep because we weren't going with anybody else but the Red Devils that game. We knew what side of the river we was on.
Yes. Yeah, man. So, hey, this has been a phenomenal episode, and this is for our community to get to know these guys and get out there and support these guys, man. The Minority 7-on-7 is going over there July 12th. Wow, get out there, and there's some great games happening that day, so you got to get out there and check that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any last words, man?
Man, hopefully my boys pull it out tonight. They're gonna pull it out. Jeff over in New Albany. New Albany is very talented this year, but we got the senior leadership and we got some talented kids on that basketball team. Coach Sharon has done an amazing job over there. And, I want to pattern my success and, how I built the program through him. I'm picking his brain all the time. Like, yo, what do we need to do? And he's always giving me some gems about, hey, this is what you need to do. Start doing this. Start doing that. So, Jeff's going to be rocking here in a minute. I'm about to shoot across the bridge and get to see that. It's going to be a gem.
There we go. Last words.
Big shout out to Jeff. Big shout out to everybody. Thank you for watching. All love, appreciate everybody. Shout out to everybody in Alabama that's going to watch and tune in for me. And I always shout you out. Love you, mama. Thank you. Appreciate you for everything.
Hey, that's what it's about, man.
People in Haiti, let's go.
Let's go, man. Hey, like we always say, everyone has a story.
We're here for them to tell it.
Cleats to Whistle podcast.
Let's go.